Everybody, welcome back to another weekly rip with Coach Rick and Coach Tut. We're here, maybe packing some lips, dropping some tips. I don't know.
Hey there, buddy. How you doing?
Rick said he was going to do a little new accent for this week, but, you know, if he's feeling...
we'll save it. I could talk like this the whole time.
You do. They got a little Hodge twin in you there. I'm going to start off this. You know, we do a little shot usually. Well, what are you working with today?
I got Brewdog.
Brewdog.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Brewdog Jet Black Heart Vanilla Oatmeal Nitro Stout.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to give a shout out to Snoot Strength. Came through with an amazing little Christmas gift. So she got me these whiskey glasses for these.
No way.
With Second Amendment on it and bullet ice cubes. So you freeze these bullets, you put them in and they act as ice cubes.
That anybody who drinks whiskey knows that is a great gift because the worst
is
when they melt, right?
A little Angel's Envy this week. We're gonna give a little pour. We're gonna have maybe a little more than that. Well, that was a hefty one. Might be a little turned up for the staff meeting after, but so Snoot, thank you. Little Angels, it never freaking gets old, man. It's just
I'll have to give it a go.
You've never had Angels?
I don't think so. No, I'm not a big whiskey guy. How's my volume sound? Do I need to adjust it at all?
No, you sound good.
Yeah. All right.
So, Rick, what's going on? Give me something new in your life. I feel like I haven't talked to you maybe since last Wednesday.
Well, not a whole hell of a lot, man. I'm probably forgetting something, but you know, just trying to stay COVID free. These days, we have, you know, with work and everything, we're somebody gets COVID, fucking all hell breaks loose. So, you know, with the content tracing and all that shit. So we're just trying to stay as COVID free as possible and get through the season. That's our goal, you know? So, just trying to do our best and keep on rolling. Going into Christmas here, we'll have I think like 10, 12 days of a break for Christmas. And then we'll get back rocking and rolling. So
rumor has it you're making a trip out east, maybe?
Yep. You know, we're 18th, obviously, that weekend. And then hopefully
we got the summit, man. We got the Nobody Sleeves Summit. We got some cool things up our sleeves, maybe some surprises, but gonna have the whole squad out for 2 full days, just throwing weights, eating, and getting some work done.
Yeah, I turned down a lot for this fucking summit, so it better be good. I'm just kidding. I didn't really turn down much of anything.
I didn't believe that for really 1 second. Dude, so I don't know if we've all talked about this since we started, since the last one, but new logo was dropped, limited time only with the GOAT logo. I'm fucking.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you know, for anybody that likes, you know, just wears a plethora, these fucking shirts, the brand of the shirts are some of the best.
So you got front size. This is an XL. Okay. Flames, nice and simple on the front.
Yeah.
Back side.
Wow. Hold on. Stand up a little bit. Your mic's in the way. Yeah. All right.
This is like a charcoal gray.
I love it. Take us. Give us a little bit of background on the GOAT and the purpose of the GOAT.
So the GOAT really stemmed from. I'm from New England, right? So, you know, when we were founding the company, everything and anyone that we think's cool or at the moment does something good, they're the GOAT, greatest of all time. We refer to everything as being the GOAT. Our clothing line's the GOAT. Our team's the GOAT. So we were like, we kept using that so much. And we wanted a subtle kind of logo that's going to really be like the top tier line, right? For No Windy Sleeves, like Supreme, right? Like you're elite, right? Once you get the GOAT. So we dropped it just now for Black Friday, limited time on only the hoodies. We're going to take it away for probably maybe a year, maybe a little more, and then bring it back, you know, once we've had some, you know, people, if you're on our movement for a year, if you've, you know, been with us, followed us, supported us, you know, you're going to earn your way to the GOAT status. But we want to throw out a little teaser. you know, because everyone was just goating it up for Black Friday, you know.
I like it. I think it's a great idea. Plus it's a
And
cool
it's a
ass.
fucking jacked goat, dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty dope goat. But that's awesome. I like it a
We'll
lot.
just have a little fun with it, you know.
Yeah, like something different.
Kind of like a level up, you know. Once you're big enough and people recognize our movement of wanting to get better, they're like, "That's no one he sees."
We should only make them in XLs.
He's
for
goat
men.
level. Yeah, for sure, for sure. They're like, he's goat level.
I'm just kidding. We don't want to discriminate.
Well, the reason I got to take this one is because I'm the only one that wears the XL.
Oh,
I saw it
shots
in there.
fired.
Nobody was grabbing it. I'm like, well, I'll fucking take it. It was just in the bottom of the box. I didn't think we were getting them yet. I might cut the sleeves off it though. How's training been this week, Rick? Anything new?
Good. It's actually been really well so far. So what I've been doing is I'm in that volume phase. I've been alternating between accumulating volume and adding intensity, right?
What does that mean? Walk me through.
Accumulating volume means the total amount of sets and reps that you perform, okay? Or the total amount of repetitions, the total amount of overall work that you're performing per workout, right? I'm doing more of a bodybuilding split currently, which is different for me. I kind of in a love-hate relationship with it, but that's a different conversation. So I'll
We're
take
doing more bodybuilding right now.
Yeah. So say I'll do legs. We'll take legs, for example. It's a simple simple body group to use. One day I'll try to hit them 2, maybe 3 times a week with like a smaller workout in there as the third one. But say the first one is majority quad work and then secondary hamstring. So throughout the phase, I've accumulated sets and reps through different ranges. So say I did squat for 3 sets, 5 to 10 reps. Okay. And I use ranges with the RIR. So that way you can, monitor it. You don't actually have to hit an exact number. Depending on what you're doing that day, you're able to get to wherever your end point is. So say I want to hit 2 reps left in the tank. I have a range of where I want to be. And then I'd go hack squat, 10 to 20 reps, right? Leg extension, 20 to 30 reps. Okay. So all of those with say squats, 3 sets, hack squats, 3 sets, leg extension, 2 sets. Okay. Then I'd maybe hit leg curls, 3 sets, 10 to 20, and back extension, 3 sets, 10 to 20. Okay, that would be like a leg workout. So 5 exercises, super simple.
Are you essentially working the opposite way of what your traditional bench, like bench pyramid would be? 12.
Yeah,
20,
so
2, so
kind of, yeah. So say you have those ranges, right? The next week, I'd stay at the same weight, but I'd add a set for every exercise. Okay, so I'd hit 4 sets. Now, I'd stay at the same fatigue level, so RIR 2, right? Reps in reserve 2. Okay, I'd stay there. All right. The following week, I went to reps in reserve 0 to 1. The following week, up the intensity, but try to keep the same volume that you just did. So you may need to add sets depending upon what you do.
That sounds pretty brutal, dude. You must be shaking when you walk out.
So yeah, like the first couple weeks aren't that bad of every phase. You know what I mean? When you get to the RIR 0 and 1 and you're like fucking hitting 5, 6 sets of something, it sucks. The key is you don't want to change too many things at the same time, right? Because then you're not doing anything. So if by just choosing, okay, this week I'm going to stay at the same weight, but I'm just going to add more reps, then you're guaranteeing yourself you're adding work, right? Because it's a way to grow. You have to add work to your body. You have to cause the body to do more work so then it adapts to that workload. Okay, so then if you're going to change intensity, right, you got to try to keep relatively the same volume or else now you're changing too much. This is in terms of hypertrophy training, okay? So if you're going to up the intensity a little bit, unless you skyrocket the intensity where it's not even in the same realm, you know what I mean? Say you go from like 70% to 85% or 90%, then you're going to have to, obviously the volume's going to have to change.
Are you sticking to the same main workouts? Like that's what you say by not jumping around. I feel like that's where a lot of people, like one week they'll go in and do a hamstring curl. Next week they'll go in and do a GHR, instead of sticking to the same movement and progressing it. Is that a big thing, or is it this just targeting that muscle group?
Yeah. So I've been doing the same exercises for the last 4 weeks.
Okay.
Exactly the same exercises. All I've been changing is sets, reps, or weight. It's the only thing I've changed. And I mean, one, it's because of facility, like I only have so many options. Two, like I'm not going to fucking drive around God's creation looking for different fucking machines to use. You know what I mean?
Dude, you talk about that all the time. You're like, dude, if you have a beginner start, dude, you're like, do you have them squat, deadlift, lunges, and back extension? Just change the volume, change the intensity, and change the tempos. You can do the same shit, and unless you're super advanced, you're gonna fucking get better, get stronger, and put on size in 6-8 weeks.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think in terms of bodybuilding, hypertrophy, muscular building, whatever you want to call it, the hardest part to stay on top of is the calories, is the nutrition side of it, dude. Like that's the hardest part for me is like when you get a great workout, you gotta try to fucking feed the body because when you're working with strength athletes, you're trying to get stronger. Yeah, nutrition's huge, but you're still working that neurological component of being able to get stronger, right? Like you could kind of have a shit diet and still get stronger as long as your calorie is relatively good. Like obviously it's not going to be as good.
The strength adaptation that you talk about
is still there. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you can kind of, I don't want to say cheat the diet, but you can get away with a little bit worse of a diet.
If you're trying to put on actual pounds, it's
literally the calories are the building blocks to the muscle, right? That's the frame, right? Then the protein intake is actually what's rebuilding the muscle. So trying to be as getting as much calories in as I can and the right calories is the hardest part.
Dude, I'm fucking pumped. That's crazy. I was just talking to someone about it, and my brother didn't know the difference. He's like, I thought if you strength train, you're just putting on size too. I thought it was the same thing. I'm like, you will put on some size, but they're two completely different things. You're going to look at a lot of these bodybuilders. They may not be as strong. They're way bigger than a lot of power lifters, but not nearly as strong. Just it's a different type of training. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And it comes in levels. Like if you're a beginner just starting out, you're going to put on size and strength no matter what, because you are completely detrained. You know what I mean? If you've been strength training for 5 years and that's it, like you don't go above 5 reps on anything, you start putting some volume in, you're going to see some strength, some size gains.
Dude, that's where I always fucking talk about aligning your nutrition, your training with your goals. So many people, they don't, and it's to no one's fault. They're not professionals. Not saying it's their fault. They'll go in and do a 5x5 bench and then do something else. They don't know what they're training for, like what their goal is or the type of training. So they don't know how to align their nutrition. So you're really just wasting time. Yes, it's good to get in and get healthy. You're not going to hit the goals you want if you don't know the difference between hypertrophy, conditioning, endurance, strength training, and then picking the right nutrition or meal plan to go with it. Like you said.
Yeah. If you just want to go into the weight room, throw some weights around, have some fun and be relatively healthy, like you don't really have to think about it that much. But if you have a specific goal that you want to do, and I think what it helps too is keeping it fresh. Like nobody wants to go in and just, be like, can't wait to hit fucking 85% again. I'm trying to be strong. Like you got to switch it up and you get stale. Like your body's going to adapt. You got to go through different phases. And that's what makes it fun. Like, you know what? I'm going to do 8 weeks, see how 8 weeks of, mass building and straight bodybuilding style training. I'm going to try to get as big as I can. And then you go back in that strength phase and your body's going to respond to that.
I'm officially hiring a nutrition coach to align with my strength program just to try to get some numbers up this winter. I'm going to be working with Dave. It's going to be my nutrition coach because that's what he does. So I'm going to be working with him for nutrition, pairing up with Ant for the training. See if we can bump some numbers this winter.
Shit. What? I'll tell you what, you might as well, let's put it to the test, dude. Fucking sign up for a comp.
I'm fucking 220 pounds, Rick. I'm not that strong.
You have a nutrition coach. You could sign up for the 198.
Give me a fucking year or two, maybe. 198. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
okay, sign up for it in November.
Let's see how the phase goes. If I feel good, yeah, maybe.
November.
I would love to have something to compete for.
Yeah.
Just compete
exactly. When's the last time you truly competed for something?
Men's league? No.
Feels great.
For our merch sales, I like to win that number. But no, you're right. And I've never ever done all 3 main lifts to some sort of max on the same day. So I wouldn't even know how to do it. It'd be the first
time. I did it. I did one. And it's the
You
hardest
took a
part
beer
is
the night before too, probably, and you probably still maxed and everything.
I didn't actually. I didn't. I cut to 181. I sit at like 205, 210, and I cut to 181. Yeah. So
You have any fucking strength left?
yeah, I was sitting between 195 and 200 for like the majority of the cycle. Everybody says, "Oh, don't cut for your first at first bodybuilding meet." Da, 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 da. I was like, I want to do it mainly because I want to try to cut. Like, I'm not doing it to hit crazy numbers. I'm doing it because I want to see myself be able to get to there. And I did it. I weighed in at like 179, I think.
Dude, I can't even picture you at 179.
Yeah, it was crazy. The next day, I was up to 193.
Did you
like 24 hours?
Did you go in like dehydration? You were gonna try and win, or you just wanted to compete with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to win, but like it all depends on who shows up. Like, there could be some fucking dudes at 181, you know, like,
bro, we're in Berwick last week, and I'm like, I have a decent deadlift, like comparative to my other lifts. Like, my deadlift's decent. I'm there, we're doing some weight, whatever. There's a dude, he's fucking PA state record holder. I think I forget the weight, either 181 or down in the 160s. Dude, he's pulling like 645 at like an absurdly low number. Like, that's a number that I would want to pull in a competition. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking 220.
Yeah. The weird thing about powerlifting is there's so many categories. So like, there was probably like 30 different 181 guys, but there was only, I think, like 8 in my division, because I did completely raw, like just sleeves. And then there's raw with wraps. And then there's suit, single ply, and then there's multiply. You know what I mean? So like, I won my division, but there was a guy that did raw with wraps, right? That squatted like fucking 600 pounds or some shit. You know, like, you know what I mean? And when he won, but he's been powerlifting. He said he was I was talking. He was powerlifting for like 6 years or some shit like that. You know, like, if you train for that, like, you can get pretty fucking strong.
I explain to people all the time. I get asked all the time, too, why don't you compete? I'm like, take away like whatever you see at fast twitch and shit. Like, in the realm of the strength world, like, neither one of us are very strong. I do it to compete with myself.
Yeah.
However, like, dude, Dave was in this weekend, fucking 425 pause bench. I'm like, I failed 330. Pause bench 425. Bench, I know, dude. It's crazy because like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hit like a 535 squat and hopefully like a 635 deadlift. And my bench is just shit. But it made me want to do something about it, because just to like compete with myself. Yeah, but I was fucking pissed, and it was so funny because like, same way, just strip off a 45 on each side every fucking set. I was like, oh my fucking god, Ant was dying, dude.
The thing is about competition, one, it gives you a date to work for, right? It just gives you something to look forward to, and two, the environment of it is pretty cool. Like, you got people there, like, they're hyping you up and shit. You got an announcer who's like kind of busted. He's like, the guy there was like busting my balls. You know what I mean? I fucking listen to this shit. I went to bench, right? This is my first one. I have no idea. I'm there by myself. Okay. I had like a couple buddies that were also competing, but nobody told me you can't wear elbow sleeves when you bench, right?
I've never benched in elbow sleeves.
I was having some fucking serious elbow problems during the training for it. So I was wearing elbow sleeves. I go down, right? Get set up. They're like, yep, go ahead. Bang, boom. This is my first rep, right? Dude, smash it, rack it. 3 red lights. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, oh, you can't wear elbow sleeves.
They don't tell you when you walk in there with them?
You didn't tell me that before I started? I could have just ripped them off right there. Fucking bullshit.
Like the confederations or whatever with that stuff, they do that just to fuck with you.
Yeah, it's like, they're like, yeah, hey, newbie, take the elbow sleeves off. I'm like, all right.
I went to one a couple of years ago where Briggs actually placed first for his weight class. I did his spotting for his bench, but it was pretty cool to see, because it's a whole different science of doing your reps, coming with your opener, and then like how you're recovering in between, and like what numbers you're going to go for. You know, that's where Stan Efferding like found his obsession with fucking iodized salt.
Really?
Yeah. He said, if you listen to one of his podcasts, he talks about it. He's in between. He was like, he was so dehydrated, so fucked up. He couldn't even like open his hands, and he thought he was going to have to go to the hospital. Someone came up to him and was like, pound this. I think it was like a packet of iodized salt and water. pounded it. Like a couple minutes later, he just felt himself like open back up and was loading with water. And
This is when he's bodybuilding.
I think he was powerlifting. I think it was a powerlifting meet.
Really?
And he finished the meet and he totaled something crazy. And that was where his whole obsession with learning about iodized salt and the hydration piece of it came into play. I got to send you the video. It's crazy, but like he thought he was going to have to go to the hospital, took some salt, rehydrated, and finished the fucking meet.
It's pretty wild. That's fucking crazy. I mean, it makes sense though. It makes sense. Like cramping is one of those things that we don't really know a whole lot about, like why it, like obviously it has to do with your electrolyte balance, but like those like middle of the night cramps, like why the fuck do you get middle of the night cramps? You know, so it makes sense in his situation. Like, you know, obviously he was lacking salt, and it's you know, it's a huge thing. Obviously you talk about it all the time. Like, and I'm a big on it too.
Yeah, I think my biggest way to tell people how important salt is when people are like, oh, it's so bad for you. I'm like, we were interns during football camp on 120-degree turf 2 days. We're going around and making kids drink literally salt water.
Yeah.
If football players at the highest level are using salt water to stay hydrated, clearly there's a very important piece to that, right? It just helps you retain water in your muscles and keeps you from dehydrating. Yes, there's a point where it can be too much, but if you can do that, especially if you're not someone who wants to carry a gallon around and just stay hydrated and keep it circulating that way, it's a good way for you to retain the water that you're taking in. And keep yourself from cramping and keep yourself from getting those muscle pulls or tears. Like I never cramp. I intake so much fucking salt.
And you know what? Maybe it's a thing where, because you hear a lot of it different. I had a cramp problem as a kid where like in the summer months when I would first start a season, I would cramp. As the season would go on, it would get better. So I don't know if it was a acute like exposure to that extreme activity or if it's, you know, something genetic, but maybe just some people process or you know, break down salt better than others, where like
what I noticed
way more.
What I noticed at Nova when we were having those guys taking, you know, the I think it was Gator Lights at the time. So it was a mixture of electrolytes and salt.
The right stuff.
The right stuff.
Dude, I was trying to
never saw people.
I was trying to think of that for so long the other day, and it just came in my brain. The right stuff. That's what it's called.
I always called it the hangover cure. You just drink
that too.
Go to bed and you're freaking good. You never saw people throw up. I don't know the correlation to that either, obviously, because throwing up usually when you're dehydrated.
That's true.
I don't ever really recall seeing people over on the sideline during camp throwing up. And you see people in the gyms are throwing up, whatever, doing these hit workouts. It's like, how much of that can be avoided by your sodium intake?
Fuck. What's that book? He talks about it in the Vertical Diet. It's The Salt Truth or something like that.
I want to get a Salt Life sticker. I don't fish. I just want it because I taking so much salt, dude. Make a fucking one-off.
Yeah, I think it's called The Salt Truth. I'll have to look it up. But it's great. He's the guy that he talks about that whole thing about the whole myth against salt is.
Dude, I'll tell you what, Ant has got me on. Dave started doing it too. The liquid IV packets.
I saw that. I don't really know too much about those.
They're fucking expensive because they're fucking good. But they you throw one in a gallon. I mean, the pump you get too, insane. Like you just feel. I think I tried to buy like a month's worth, like one for each day. Like $2 a thing, honestly. But for me, throw that in a gallon. If I can drink that in a gallon throughout the day, I'm good. You know, and I can feel my whole entire body, sleep, energy, mindset, achiness, recovery change if I'm hydrated. That's why salt's the number one thing for me too. I think it's that important.
I agree. I mean, I think it's something that people definitely miss out on, especially in performance sports. You know, not even just daily life. Like if you're going to be performing at a high level, you got to have the electrolyte balance there. And it's something that you cannot even realize.
And I guarantee you any coach you work with, any online survey you're doing, when you go to the doctor, any survey or questionnaire you take, they're going to ask you what your water intake is throughout the day. Yeah. How much water do you drink a day? I guarantee it because it's
100%. And it's about, you know what I mean? You got to have a balance of the three. You know, they say a lot of it is sodium, potassium is the third electrolyte, and water.
Do you think potassium deficiency really equates to restless leg syndrome?
I don't know. I've never really.
I heard that.
I don't suffer from restless leg syndrome. I would
get
argue
that.
maybe sometimes people believe they have restless leg syndrome and they're just really, really sedentary.
I get restless leg syndrome and I get pissed off. Like I start punching pillows.
I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying some people.
I get it, and I get fucking pissed, Rick.
Yeah, no, my uncle has it really bad. He's a police officer, so I mean, he's running around.
I have a doctor's appointment next week. I have two actually. I have an eye doctor and a physical because my sleep. Ashley genuinely thinks that I'm going to need a sleep study like you. For the opposite though, because I haven't been sleeping. Like 2 nights ago, did not sleep 1 minute. I just can't sleep right now, and I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm going to try to go see if there's something going on, just to get.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, there's something.
That'd
wrong.
be amazing. Not falling asleep.
It's brutal. I went to the gym at like 3:00 the other 2:48. I think I went in there the other day. Started cleaning.
Well, not to make on the contrary, I just today took a surprise 2-hour nap. Just eating dinner and or I guess like a late lunch, and boom, out. Didn't wake up for 2 hours. No idea it hit me.
Didn't you do a sleep study that made you like stay in a room for or you were supposed to?
Well, yeah, I had like all this shit. I had to sleep with all this shit on me, and then to see if I had sleep apnea, I didn't. And then I was supposed to do like 6 weeks of this like log of my sleep habits, but ended up moving to Louisiana. So I never went through with it. I should probably maybe think about doing it again. I don't know. Cause I felt like I had great sleep last night. Went to bed like 10 o'clock, woke up at 6. It's at 8 hours.
Your problem is never getting sleep. Like I've said, I've seen you be fucking jacked up like you are right now. 2 minutes later, I look over and you're like
maybe it's, I don't know. Yeah. Sleep fucking interests me too. I really want to learn like dreams. Fucking, I don't have really dreams that often, and I want to have them. They're fucking sick. Like
I used to get made fun of for asking this, but I'm looking at like Emerson, like when she was first born, twitching when she's sleeping, right? And I'm like, usually people twitch when they're dreaming of something. I'm like, Ashley, what do you think she's dreaming of if she has no concept of reality and the world? Like, what's going through her mind right now? And I was like,
listen,
up.
There's few things in the world that I can't fathom and understand. I don't think I'll ever be able to. Okay. Number one, sleep, dreams. Don't get it. Don't understand why they happen. Really cool. Would love to learn more about them. 2, space, fucking stupid crazy. How the fuck you're telling me I can see this thing in the sky and it's already dead? Stars already dead. Doesn't make any sense. 3, am I on 3? Ocean. I just found out there's a place in the fucking ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, that never has been gone to. The fucking ocean, there's a remote place, the most remote place in the ocean. No human has ever been to it because
Rick,
it's so remote.
Like 70% of the ocean is undiscovered. You know that, right?
Yeah, but like this is like an actual surface, like a boat has never crossed it. It's that far out there that a boat would never even get there. And then the brain. Number 4 is the brain. The human brain. I guess kind of goes with sleep, but don't fucking get it. Don't fucking get it one bit.
Well, on that note, maybe we'll roll into that one next week. Thank you all for joining. Our team is now on. Say hi to Luke and Anthony.
Oh, hey, listen, we forgot the athlete, the question. Let's see what they say.
What's that?
What do you guys think is the best?
You don't need to yell anymore. You don't need to yell anymore.
Am I yelling? Okay. What do you think is the best athlete of all sports? Like what position and what sport is the best athlete?